God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. But God only knows the real you. There's a kind of love that God only knows.
Welcome to Season 2, Episode 6 of Your Journey Is Not Over. My name is Tanya Pearson Randolph. This is my own personal journey, and the expressions and opinions are of my own. I own all the rights to my personal journey and to Your Journey Is Not Over, neither to be used, copied, or edited in any way without my consent. Before I jump back in, I do want to make a correction on something I said on Season 2, Episode 2. It's the episode I titled, Answer the Call. First off, anyone that personally knows me already knows that if I'm wrong, or I do or I say anything that is wrong, I own it. I tell on myself. I'm my own worst critic. That's another thing a lot of people don't know about me. I bust my own chops, so to speak. I take accountability. I step up to the plate. So I do want to take this time and opportunity to correct myself and to apologize to anyone I might have offended. By the way, I didn't get any feedback at all on this episode. It's me giving it some thought and some soul searching and realizing I definitely misspoke. And it was when I said most people who go to church only do it for superficial gain or status, etc. I just want to again take this time and opportunity to rephrase that statement. And I never should have misspoke on that. So rephrasing that now, there are a lot of good people that go to church for all the right reasons, clearly for God and to get fed the word of God, and with good, loving, kind, caring hearts. The reason I personally know this is because it's been these kind, loving, caring people, mostly strangers, that have loved and guided me through my life. They've helped me. They've gave me kindness in moments of need, even simple things like smiles, or a touch of a hand, or a hug, or a message, or even an invitation to give me something to look forward to. So again, I do apologize for misspeaking from the bottom of my heart. I will, and I can only go by what I was taught. I'm a product of my environment, aren't we all? And I'm still learning and growing and changing my mindset, my thought process, and everything I've seen and was taught as a child. So picking up where I left off, I was in a community hospital in another city from where I lived. I've said it before, and I will say it again. It had to be God, because I had the best team of nurses and doctors and was put into an amazing hospital. Again, I'm grateful always. So during my second week, I was eating. Even the nurses and the doctors would call me on their way to the hospital to see if I wanted anything different. They must have known the hospital food wasn't what the average 15-year-old eats or craves. Let's just say I got a lot of hotcakes and sausage and Big Macs, always with a strawberry shake. My favorite even to this day. Also reflecting back to this time again, which I haven't done often. I've been told that's how I handled my trauma. I just moved on, acted like things were normal. And there is a big difference in just moving on and compartmentalizing than healing trauma. Me, yes, I just continued on through anything and everything. I persevered. I know from the outside looking into my life, again, I look unfazed. Going through life with such ease, right? I'm walking on sunshine, remember? I'm way too confident. But do those people that look at my life and try and judge it even know half of what I had to go through, half of what I had to endure? And to become strong enough of a person that no matter what, I still have a pure, loving, kind heart. I have compassion and empathy. I give people what I was never given. I understand pain, betrayal, trauma, and hopelessness more than what people realize. I will just say this: when you come out of the storms in your life, things that you had no control over, the hand that was dealt to you, and you play your cards the best you can, you will come to a crossroad. And it's at that point in time, you as a person get to choose. Do you let the storms break you or make you? Do you let the storms make you bitter, manipulative, competitive, deceitful, and envious of others, and make you want everyone around you to feel like you do about yourself? Make others feel your pain? Bring others down to your level, so to speak? Or do you choose to take the path where you stay humble and grateful, and you bring light and love and compassion to others, where you uplift and bring hope and faith in others? My grandma always said, baby, there are two types of people in this world. There are givers and there are takers. Now you decide which exactly you want to be. And I know she wasn't talking about material things neither. I chose to be a giver grandma. So reflecting back, I remember my dad coming to the hospital after he would get out of school quite often. I even still to this day have the fake pink roses he bought me, along with a card. I'm sentimental, so yes, I keep everything. My dad would bring my friends with him so they could see and visit with me. My friend I call my ride or die, she brought me a little dog with a picture frame on its belly. And there she put a picture of she and I in it. It and brought it to me on one of these visits. I don't think she even realized what that meant to me. It meant everything. It was something tangible that I could hold on to, take with me to so many tests, hold when I was scared all those hours I spent alone in that hospital room. It also was a reminder of what I looked like and how happy and healthy I looked before this weight loss began. That little dog with our picture, something so small, but with the kindest intent, brought me so much love and made me feel safe just to have with me during my stay in the hospital. And that little dog is now sitting on my desk. Looking at our picture now, I still get the biggest smile on my face. We were just babies in that picture, and we both had so much joy and hope in our smiles. But yes, my dad came to see me quite often. I only remember my mom coming twice the whole 3 weeks I was there. Again, normal from her. I knew nothing but this kind of behavior from her. She was cold, detached, didn't want to be put out or inconvenienced. And if my mom wasn't center of attention, she resented whoever, and I mean whoever was. And no matter what the circumstances. And in this case, it was me, and I was in bad shape and in the hospital. If it wasn't wrapped around her, it was an inconvenience. So anything that needed signed, consent forms, or anything, my dad was in charge of all of that. She just dropped that completely in his lap, even though he worked every day teaching, and she had no job at all at this time. As a parent myself, and God forbid my child was sick and I was unemployed, so work, paying bills, keeping the money flowing couldn't be an excuse to not come to the hospital. I, as a parent, would have been there every single day with my child, helping to care for and nurture and love my child back to health. I, again, as a parent, could have never left my 15-year-old to endure all those tests and the fear of being away from home and at the mercy of nurses and doctors to care for them. No, no, no. I, as a parent, can remember crying when my kids would get something as simple as pink eye. I, as a parent, can never stand to see my kids hurt or in any pain at all. I still can't. So, no, it makes no sense as to why she didn't come to visit me more often. And the 2 times that she did come with my dad, she would walk around my room with her arms folded, and she acted mad at me. A complete inconvenience, almost like I just made her life so difficult. There was never no love or kindness or nurturing vibes from her. I just think she was incapable of those emotions. As I've said many years now, and I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all, but nobody could love my mother more than she loved herself. And I think that's the only person she was capable of loving was herself. So, yes, I spent a lot of days alone and every night by myself at the hospital. And like always in my life, I became so codependent on my doctor and my nurses. I latched on to whatever was there, whoever showed me love and kindness and compassion, especially in my times of need. And at this time, I was most definitely in need. I was weak, depleted, and fighting to get healthy. The nurses and the doctors did everything they could for me. And with all of my tests coming back normal, completely normal, and me being monitored while I ate, I now know a nurse had to stay with me while I ate and an hour after I ate to make sure I digested my food completely. I started gaining a little weight, not a lot, but a little, and walking longer distances, building up my strength. At 15 years old, I was focused on getting better and getting home, getting back to my life, getting back to school, my friends, work, back to a normal 15-year-old life. And slowly, I worked towards that. There was no throwing up my food, no refusing to eat, quite the opposite. And there were no pass out spells. All tests came back normal, so the doctors had no explanation for what was going on with me. Slowly, going into my third week, my doctor finally said if I could walk the hospital floor that I was on 10 times with no pass out spells and with no assistance, then I could go home. I was so ready to go home and to be and feel normal again. So slowly, I began to accomplish that goal. If you know me personally, then you know that no matter what, who, or how, I'm very driven and I'm a very determined person. Once I have a goal, no matter what roadblocks that try to stop me, I always find the detour and make my goals. I achieve whatever it is, and this was no exception. I've been told many times through my life, it's what's in me, how I was made, and who I am. So, yes, I accomplished my 10 rounds of the floor, never one pass out spell the entire stay at the hospital, and I was released. I was so excited, but my excitement would be short lived because no more than 24 hours after I was released, I would be in an ambulance on my way back to the very same hospital that I just spent 3 weeks working so hard to get released from. This concludes my podcast for today. Please join me Thursday. Listen in. And always remember, your journey is not over. God bless.
God only knows what you've been through. God only knows what they say about you. God only knows how it's killing you. But there's a kind of love that God only knows. God only knows what you've been